Hey, what's up? I'm Darkbblue, trying to help everyone enjoy games in depth. Let's continue our Green Down Painless guide. Now we've come to an important topic, how to theory craft your own build. I divide this video into 3 sections. First of all, you need to make a few key decisions that will determine if your build can work or not. Then you need to build up your character stats using gears and skills. Although the mere stats cannot truly reflect the true power of a build, they can be a useful indicator to help you avoid making mistakes. So I have summarized a few stat thresholds that you need to meet. In the end, I'll walk you through the actual steps to search for and select gears in the build calculator to meet these thresholds. Starting with some key decisions, you'll need to first check out how your main skill's attack is comprised. There are 3 cases: inherent attack, percentage weapon damage, and added retaliation damage. Inherent attack is very straightforward and common, as you can see here as I mark with a square. This plain damage value is the inherent attack. Percentage weapon damage is as I mark here. Your weapon has a base damage value, and in addition to percentage damage bonus, you can also find some base damage bonus. The summed value of your weapon's base damage and all your base damage bonus is used to calculate the percentage weapon damage. So what does this imply? If your main skill does have percentage weapon damage, base damage bonus is usually more powerful than percentage damage bonus. But if your main skill doesn't have percentage weapon damage at all, base damage bonus makes no contribution. Lastly, a few rare skills have added retaliation damage, either inherently or modified by gears. Retaliation damage itself only works when you are hit by an enemy and does damage to it. But with added retaliation damage, your active attack can make use of your retaliation damage stat as well. In some sense, it's similar to percentage weapon damage. Once it's clear how your main skill's damage is comprised, you will know how to stack your stats. If a skill has only inherent attack, the only thing you should stack is percentage damage bonus. If a skill has percentage weapon damage, you should pay more attention to base damage bonus. And if a skill has added retaliation damage, you should focus on stacking retaliation damage. Furthermore, all skills with percentage weapon damage, including your basic attack move, can trigger raw global effects. For example, a constellation called Viper has an effect, reduce target's elemental resist. So based on this description, it doesn't state any specific way to trigger this effect, right? Such cases are global effects. A skill with percentage weapon damage can trigger global effects, and a skill without any percentage weapon damage is not able to trigger such effects. With the offense decision made, the second key decision is related to defense. To stay alive, you have basically 2 solutions: lifesteal and health regeneration. Lifesteal is straightforward. The damage you deal is partially converted into healing. However, it's not applicable to all situations. To be concrete, as you can see here, this lifesteal stat on your character sheet doesn't state any specific way to trigger, right? So it's a global effect and thus only triggerable with percentage weapon damage. It means that if your skill has both inherent attack and percentage weapon damage, which is a very common case, only the part of damage in correspondence to your percentage weapon damage can trigger lifesteal. And if your main skill doesn't have any percentage weapon damage, lifesteal isn't applicable at all. Of course, one different possibility is that lifesteal is directly added to a skill itself rather than globally. In this case, the whole damage dealt by this skill can trigger lifesteal. This is also the only way to use lifesteal with a non-percentage weapon damage skill. Furthermore, lifesteal is only applicable to direct damage, but DOT damage such as internal trauma, burn, and bleed cannot trigger it, even if a skill has percentage weapon damage. With that being said, it's clear that lifesteal is only applicable to a limited range of situations. When it's not applicable, we need to resort to health regeneration. To use health regeneration, you need to stack both base regeneration and percentage regeneration bonus. With both of them stacked, you can reach more than 3000 HPS. Besides lifesteal and health regeneration, there are also a few emergency skills triggered when you reach low health. Such skills are useful no matter which defense solution you are using. The two decisions above are the most important ones you need to make before diving into the details of any build. Besides them, there are also a few extra minor decisions you need to know. Summon builds. Based on if a build is using summon, builds can be divided into three types. Non-summon builds, where you need to stack character bonus. Semi-summon builds, some special pets that use your character's bonus rather than pet's bonus, where you also need to stack character bonus. Summon builds, where you need to stack pet bonus instead of character bonus. Common skills or default attack skills. In Grim Dawn, some special skills can be used as default weapon attack. If you're using such skills as your main skill, you need to pair them with passive skills that state can activate with default weapon attacks. As you can see here, these passive default attack skills have a certain trigger chance, and you need to have the sum value of all default attack skills reach 100% without exceeding it. After making correct decisions about the few key factors, now you are one large step closer to making a good build. Next, you need to reach certain stat thresholds which are listed now, to make sure your build is well-rounded. I will make some further comments about this list here. First, I don't list any threshold for resist reduction. This is because you want to have as much resistance reduction as possible. So there's not a threshold beyond which you don't need to make further efforts. Based on the way resistance reduction is described, it can be divided into three types. The simplest, -X% can stack, but reduced targets blah 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 cannot stack. Similar to resistance reduction, other effects such as reduced target's offensive ability cannot stack either. Second, there are attack speed and casting speed, and you need to stack only one of them. Exactly which one to stack can be judged by some strange rules which I don't really understand. Instead, I recommend simply googling the name of your main skill to see if it uses attack speed or casting speed. Number 3, there are many skills that can reduce enemies' offensive ability and defense ability, which are not shown on your character stat sheet. You just need to have the sum value of such reduction effects and the stats on your character stat sheet reach this threshold. Number 4, you need a bait over maximum resist. This is because certain enemies can reduce your resistance. The over maximum requirement of different damage type is different, and it is shown as in the table. Now that we are clear with the stat threshold, it's time to actually craft a build to reach the threshold. You are highly advised to use the build calculator function of Grim Tools for theory crafting. Next are my personal steps towards a build. Number 1, choose one main skill. Number 2, search in the item database to see which sets can modify this skill, and then choose the secondary mastery based on the set. If there isn't any set that synergizes well with your main skill and the desired damage type, you can also make a non-set build, and in such cases, you can choose your secondary mastery based on resistance reduction. Number 3, first round is skill investment. During this round, max out your main skill, resistance reduction skill, and 1 mastery exclusive skill. As for other useful buff and debuff skills, just put 1 point in each of them. We'll later come back to the skills and balance their investment based on our stats. Number 4. Choose gears. 4.1. Search in the item database to choose item skill modifiers. 4.2. Complete damage type conversion. You want your main skill to deal only 1 damage type as the goal of damage type conversion. Sometimes you can fully convert the damage types using item skill modifiers, and if not, you can make use of global damage conversion attributes. 4.3. Look for gears that give bonus level to your core skills, which should also have damage bonus to your desired damage type. As you can see here, you need to search for 2 conditions at the same time. To this goal, first search 1 condition using the built-in searching box of Grim 2, and then use the Web Explorer's Ctrl F function to search for the second condition. 4.4. If there are still empty gear slots, look for gears with both your desired damage type bonus and some good attributes to contribute to your stats. Number 5. Attribute points. Gears have certain attribute requirements which should be satisfied first. After this, the remaining points can be used to balance your stats. Physique contributes to defensive ability, Cunning contributes to offensive ability, and Spirit contributes to energy and non-physical damage bonus. Number 6. Round 2 skill investment. This time, balance between your buff and debuff skills and have a balanced stat sheet. Number 7. Devotion. In my early videos, I've told you to focus on ultimate constellations and resistance reduction constellations. This still applies. But now, please pay more attention to minor and mid-size constellations, which can make important contribution to your stats. For example, Draco has total speed bonus, Sailor Sky has very good resist, and Kraken gives a huge attack speed bonus to two-handed weapons. Such constellations are very important if you want to reach the stat threshold at ease. Number 8. Use components and augments to fill the final gap between your stats and the thresholds. First of all, the components and augments of weapons as well as augments of accessories can be used to raise your offense. Then the components of armors and accessories can be used to improve your resist as well as some other stats. For example, the threshold of armor absorption is usually met with armor components. And lastly, use armor augments to fill the final gap of your resist. If there are extra slots, you can have some DA bonus or HP bonus. Number 9. Make some minor modification, balancing between exceeded stats and insufficient stats. As an example here, now I will show you how I managed to make a Bone Harvest build from scratches. First, my main skill is Bone Harvest. Number 2, Blood Knight set is a good choice, but I don't like Soldier as my secondary mastery, so I instead use Shaman to have more Vitality resistance reduction. And number 3, first round skill investment. .1 Skill Item Modifiers. I have Bone Size and Namadius Eye. 4.2 Since my Bone Harvest is already unified as Vitality damage, I need no more damage type conversion. .3 Skill Level Bonus Gears. Note that there's a maximum level of each skill which is the stated level plus 10, so don't put too much effort on a single skill. For example, I just have a few gears that bonus my bone harvest, and I use other gears to bonus the level of my resistance reduction skills. Number 5. Attributes. I need to first satisfy the high requirement of the chest armor, and then I can freely distribute the remaining points to balance my stats. Number 6. Round 2 skill investment. Number 7. Devotion. I give up on the second ultimate constellation, saving some devotion points for Berserker. In this way, I get huge stun resist, which help me save a lot of efforts on gears. Number 8. Components and augments. Number 9. In the end, make minor modification to meet all the stats thresholds. I noticed that my freeze resist is too low, so I change a component to bring it up. However, this change lowers my DA. Since my OA is well over the threshold, I choose to lower it to bring DA up. After you finish theory crafting, you can use the share button to save your build for later reference and sharing. If you want to play games into depth together with me, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, see you around.